like to now request this event to honor Puja Brahmachari Atmaniratamrita Chaitanya Ji with the sapling and a fruit basket, a dry fruit basket. Please, Maharaj. We all hope these kinds of things blossoms in all our hearts. So, I would like to invite the next speaker here, Professor Yashonath. Professor Yashonath is here. He is a Professor Emeritus from the Indian Institute of Science. He was the head of the department of the Solid State Chemistry Unit. Professor, please come here. And most importantly, he has been inspired in a very big way with Swami Vivekananda. Right? He looks so sadhu. He has been active on so many fronts. He has got inspired and benefited a lot from Ayurveda, and is very actively involved with the Ayurveda Academy in Bengaluru. In fact, he brings us in research, regimen, rigor, and acumen in applying Ayurveda to modern challenges and diseases. More importantly, he is also into what's called as the Sattvic movement. What we eat is what defines us.
So, Swami Vivekananda's holistic approach and all-comprehensive provider of solutions to various problems in our lives comes from his in-depth thinking and spiritual attitude. He did not elaborate the details of the plan because he was there for a very short time, and it's left it to us to deliberate and take a decision. So one of the things is recently is the national education policy, which states that an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. So these are actually something very positive, and we hope that NEP will bring a lot of good changes in the education system. So lots of changes are required at the ground level because it's in our thinking that everything comes from, and so that has to be changed. Now, among all this, health is an important aspect of every person, and most of us would have experienced some time or the other some ill health and suffered because of that. Now, so let us look at not health education, but education in health, which means that how exactly can one preserve and also maintain one's health. There are hospitals which are run as corporation to make profits. Their only aim is to increase the profits and ensure that good dividends are provided to the investors. So this is the situation in respect to modern medicine in today's life. There are also serious limitations to what modern medicine can provide today, because diabetes can only be managed according to modern medicine, and BP, blood pressure also can only be managed. So you have to be rest of your life you have to take medicines, and it becomes there's no way to get out of this situation. And amongst people who are lazy, they opt for these options. And those who really want some real solution we will actually find out what is the solution. There are other alternative medicines. There are very good systems of medicine. Great Sushruta, Charaka as well as Vagbhata have given us Ayurveda, which is extremely valuable, and it needs to be practiced, implemented. I remember when the COVID times, when everybody was so afraid to move around, there were BBMP workers in Bangalore who had to clean all the hospital waste and other wastes in the streets, and they were afraid of catching the COVID. But Ayurveda Academy in Bangalore, they gave a simple uh, treatment for them. One is to apply before bath, oil all over the body and wait for 10 minutes and take bath. And this and some small, churna to take inside. With this, 800 of them never got ill, never had any problem with their health, even though they were involved with the most difficult job of cleaning hospital wastes. So there are simple solutions to many complicated problems. We just have to look around and go deeper into our own ancient books, and we'll be able to find them. Now, since most of the Vaidyas and doctors are today concerned about how exactly they can lead their own lives, and we cannot be always, looking for solutions outside of us. It's primarily our responsibility to maintain our health. And how can we do that? Is there a way for that? Yes, there is a great approach available, and that approach is what I'll describe to you in the next few minutes. So this is a approach given by Acharya K. Lakshman Sharma, who was a direct disciple of Sri Ramana Maharshi, and he wrote this book called Practical Nature Cure. And in that he has mentioned, even in 1950s, when the first edition of this book was published, he mentioned that the future looks very bleak for a common man, because big pharma corporations, big pharmaceutical companies are here to make money, and they're not concerned about the health of the individual. And so there are also doctors who are also in the similar situation. Their lives are controlled by the big pharma corporations, and therefore one has to really, take one's health into one's own hands. And for that, whatever is required, he gave it in the book. And that's very simple approach and very doable approach. It only requires a small change in our lifestyle. By the way, Lakshman Sharma also wrote a book called Mahayoga, which is also a very great book for spiritual practice. Now, this book, which was published in 1950s, is now reprinted in the 25th edition in 2019, and that book is available. Now, this knowledge is known also, is called nature cure or naturopathy. It's also known by the name life natural, also called natural hygiene. Unlike all other approaches to health, it does not have any medicines to be taken, including, Ayurveda prescribes some medicines. Siddha also has medicines, but here is a system of medicine which without any medicine. Okay, so it's a great system. Now, what are the principles of this system? Now, it suggests that you have to have certain habits in your life, and these are generally classified into 7 different habits. And the first habit that's required is for internal cleansing. When we get up in the morning, we generally maybe have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and that does not lead to the removal of the toxins inside the body. These toxins can be formed because you ate some processed food, you ate some junk food, or you overate, and therefore whatever we ate was not digested completely and fully, and part of it remained inside. And some of this can be there for last few years in your system. What you ate 5 years ago may still be in your body. And so these things make it difficult for the body to heal itself. And therefore, these toxins have to be removed from inside the body. And for that, a simple approach is to drink a glass of ash god juice in the morning or coconut water in the morning. And that really removes all your toxins. Continue to drink it over a period of 3 to 6 months, and all the things removed, and then you will feel so much lighter and so much energetic and so much healthier. You can also have vegetable juices or fruit juices in the morning, 1 glass, and then don't eat for an hour or 2 after that. Don't do anything. So this can be done after the bath, because bath should be done on an empty stomach. And during the bath, you apply oil and wait for 10 minutes and then take your bath. So this really helps to keep your system in order. The next habit is to eat proper food. Now, food that we eat today can be the chips from Lay's, okay, or other processed foods, sold Maggi noodles or whatever, okay. Now, these are not actually foods, they are products, because they are made for making the profits and not with the concern of your health. So, if you eat these kinds of, so there are foods which are living and there are foods which are dead. Living foods are that which, if you put it in the soil, it will give you a small plant. So, if you take a seed of a cucumber or seed of a pomegranate, these are living foods. And whatever living food we eat, it leads us to live. If you eat dead food, it takes us towards dead. Okay, we approach our end sooner than possible. So you therefore always try and eat living foods and fresh foods cooked just before you eat. And you also can read the package contents of a processed food. There are 3 different types of processed foods. One of them is which are safe to be eaten. Second one is that which is slightly dangerous, and third one is really dangerous, which contains lots of preservatives, emulsifiers, things that are not normal names of foods, but they will say E311 emulsifier is used or some preservatives is used. And also they add a lot of sugar and other things which are not healthy. They usually add palm oil. Palm oil is not healthy for anybody to consume. So these are things to be seen in case you can't find a living food around you. The third habit is regarding the fasting. So, as much as food is important, it's also important to abstain from eating, because your body or your pran shakti can only do one of the things: either digest the food that you have eaten or heal yourself, heal your body. Now, while it's digesting, it can't heal the body, and while it's healing, it can't digest the food. So, therefore, you need to always uh, give it certain amount of rest. Now, in olden days, your grandmothers and my grandmothers used to give this rest by not eating once in 14 days. Either on Ekadashi or on Pradosha, one of these days, they were not eating. And this was actually great help in recovering from any mistakes done in the previous 14 days. And they would recover from that and they would go on continuously. So they didn't need to go to a doctor, because there was already a doctor inside which was working and curing all the problems inside. So, if we can't do a 24-hour fasting once in 14 days, then alternative is to do a intermittent fasting. This intermittent fasting means you eat your dinner early, maybe by 6 p.m., and have your breakfast at maybe 10 a.m. so that you give a 16-hour break or rest to your body, and preferably eat your dinner, light dinner, some fruits and some vegetables. Similarly, in the morning you have a light breakfast, so your system is getting little more rest than just the 16 hours, and therefore it recovers your system and makes everything. You remember that all problems, including ischemic heart disease, which occurs due to blocks in the arteries, or it is due to some liver problem, or it is even diabetes, because diabetes is also due to impairment of the digestive system. It can't digest the sugars properly. All these things are related to your digestive system. So you have to keep your digestive system in good condition, then everything is fine. So one requires to give this rest every day if possible, and that you have to see if you are hungry, then only you should take the food. If you are not hungry and you are feeling a little tired, etc., eat some light, easily digestible food, so that you have a system which is not loaded with food, but at the same time it's able to give you energy. So these are the 3 important habits. There are 4 more. I will come to these things now. The 4th one is movement. Any living being is constantly in motion, constantly active. So if you are a person who is sitting in front of the computer for 12 hours a day without much movement, that's not good for us. You have to get up every 1 or 2 hours, maybe do a walking, do some small exercises, and keep all your parts of your body in good, healthy, active condition. So movement is very important, because without movement, blood flow will slow down, your nervous system gets slowed down, everything becomes slow and doesn't have enough energy. So this is something one needs to keep in mind. exercise in the morning is very healthy and very essential. And when the air is outside is still not polluted, it's best to do your exercise and get the best oxygen for yourself. The next uh, habit to cultivate is the relationships. We need to maintain good relations with all the people we know, because relationships are most fundamental to a human being. There is one institute called Hippocrates Institute of Health in Florida, which provides you purely vegetarian, plant-based food for any serious problems, for any health issue. And many cancer patients, heart patients go there, stay there for a month or 2 or 3 months, and take their treatment and become well and go home. Now there was one lady who had come with cancer and had come for treatment, and she was there. She was doing everything according to whatever was prescribed. She was eating healthy food, sprouts and salads and fruits and all these things she was consuming, but her problem was not decreasing. So then the director of this Hippocrates Health Institute calls her to her chamber and has a closed door discussion with her about why her condition is not improving. He asks her, what is your relationship with others, etc. Are you maintaining good relations with everybody? She says, I have good relations with everybody except one person with whom I had a fight. So then he says, what was the fight about, etc. And then they discuss. Then he suggests her to write a letter to that person, resolving the conflict she had with him, and so that her condition, it will help in her condition to recover from the illness. And she does that. And soon she becomes fully well. She is completely recovered, and she leaves the institute healthy and fine. So relationships are very important, and they are actually very helpful, because health is not just of the physical body, it's also of the mental health. So when you have a happy attitude, when you have a compassion that Swamiji spoke about, and what Amma says, compassion is so important in life, then you are not affected by the things around you. You are always in a happy mood. And that is really most important to keep the body in healthy condition. Fear and unhappiness and jealousy, anger, these things has to be given up by us, because these are negative emotions, and one needs to cultivate positive emotions, and therefore and thereby bring health to oneself, and also spread cheer among the people around us. The sixth habit is the purpose. So we all have in our life certain goals and certain higher purpose, and that higher the purpose, the better for us. And how dedicated we are to the purpose also is most important. So that purpose will drive us to activity every day, and that purpose will give us a satisfaction, inner satisfaction, which really is very important. And so you can use all your free time to pursue your higher goals, and that's a great help to maintain your health. And the last but not the least is the final habit, which is about surrender. So you may be doing everything, but things may not be turning out exactly as you want. And that tells us that everything is not under our control, that there is some other higher power which is giving us the intimation that you need to do your activity in a attitude of surrender to the higher power. And that really makes everything looks fine for us, and makes everything work properly for us. And this also is related to what Lord Krishna said, that you need to do your activities but not look for the result. And you don't look at the result, what is going to come. You look at only what you have done and whether it's been done properly. So these are the 7 habits that are there, and these are actually, there's a great change in the world which are coming over. There are people who are called Britheners who don't eat or drink, and they are alive for years together, and they get their energy from the atmosphere. They get their water from the air, because there is always a moisture in the air. They get all these things, and they are living. There is one Elitomo in America who is living like that for so many years. Okay. Also, there is many places like Hippocrates Health Institute. Here in India, we have institutions which are teaching these things. One is there in Imanaha is there, which is also international organization, which is headed by Mr. Arun Sharma, who is a grandson of K. Lakshman Sharma. He is teaching nature cure habits and so on. There is one Mohan Gupta, who is a disciple of great grand disciple of K. Lakshman Sharma, who is also teaching nature cure in Delhi. He has an institute called Natural Lifestyle. And there is also this satvicmovement.org, which is a very nicely being run by a very young person called Shubha Jain and her husband Harsh. Both are fully into this, and they are doing a wonderful job. They conduct online courses for 21 days called Ultimate Health Challenge, and these are also worth attending and learning these techniques. And then the advantage of this is then you will rarely need to go to a doctor. In fact, you will never need, because the human body has been made such that it is completely healthy by itself. There is very little chance that anything can go wrong in the human body. Even in old age, etc., there is no need to fear about any health issues, because health and old age are not related. A young person can be ill, a very aged person can be healthy. Okay? So therefore, there is no need to worry about this. Thank you.
In a very nice way, he demonstrated the habits that he has been emulating. And if you look at him, if you look at him, you will see him like a battle-scarred veteran who has been very successful. I don't know if you can understand what I said. He's very young at heart, very a tough warrior who has battled out not only from within but also outside, and it shows up on his face. Don't mistake that, but he's smiling, and that's the key there, right? And all the habits that he talked about, very, very important. On behalf of the Vivekananda Janoththana Trust and the Amma Institution, we are honored to have you here, sir. Please take it as a token of our respect.